What are the admission requirements? The first admission requirement is your international passport, which must be valid for at least 6 months. And another thing I will advise is if your valid is valid for at least 6 months or 1 year, don't bother. Just try and get a new passport, because Belgium, in as much as maybe I didn't check, we might have Nigerian consular. It's not a common destination like UK, right? And the thing is, sometimes even in some of these countries, you might have Nigerian embassy there or Nigerian High Commission. Then you go there, you say you want to renew your passport, they say they don't have booklets. You have to travel back to Nigeria. So it's always advisable before you leave Nigeria, you should have at least 10 years passport. I don't know if you have money to japa, close your eyes and just do that 10-year passport. There's a peace of mind that comes with it. So even if you get to where you are and they say, oh, they don't have booklets, you have to travel to Nigeria, okay? So don't leave Nigeria with just 2-year booklets. Or this, make sure say, oh, extend. If they have 30 years, do it. Peace of mind. People that they've renewed their passport that are outside the country, they will just to. So that's the first document that you need to apply for admission. Next document is your academic document. Maybe if you're applying for bachelor's, you need your WAEC results. And some schools will actually ask for your WAEC transcript as well, secondary school transcript. If you're applying for master's, you need your bachelor's certificate, your bachelor's transcripts, your recommendation letter, reference letter, your certificate, of course, and whether you are, and then your CV if you're applying for master's or PhD, your CV. Then if you are actually then whether you are bachelor's or you're applying for master's or PhD, you actually need your motivation letter. So depending on the course you want to choose, you write the motivation letter, why you chose this course, 1, why you chose that school, 2, and then why you chose Belgium, 3, and why you chose that country over your country. Like, those are the basic things that you should cover in your motivation letter. Don't just talk about why you chose the course. You have to be relative. Like, and then after talking about why you choose the course, you say why you chose it in that school, why you chose that country, and also why you chose that city as well, right? So more like you make your motivation letter like personalized for them to be convinced that it's not as if because you watched the ASHYDEMMYS video that make you to come and apply. You truly and genuinely want to apply there, right? Or you call me one wood here. Another thing is language requirement. Depending, like I said, there are some schools that actually offer English programs. They have English program, but for bachelors, for both bachelors and masters. And in my subsequent videos, I'll tell you guys list of English universities in Belgium, English programs and all of that. Make sure you stay subscribed. I'll create a playlist for that. So for Belgium, if you're studying English language, the actually your WAEC should be okay for English, because Belgium is a language country. Though there are some of them actually actually for IELTS and TOEFL. One thing is, most of these English language countries that actually ask we, for example, we Nigerians, for language proficiency, IELTS or TOEFL. What used to come to my mind is, if I actually even write the IELTS girl and the TOEFL and I write it and I show you, leka, can you understand it? Like, can you read this? Because you are majority language speaker. For somebody to even see somebody to speak English in your country, like, he's glory to God. Me, that even somebody that is even doing tire on the road can speak English. You're telling me to write IELTS. If I write it, can you read what is there? It's a question. So some of these language countries that actually ask for IELTS, me, I see it as very disrespectful. Like, they don't have respect for giant of Africa. But English is not official language. Even your website is not even written in English. So they ask me make I write. When I write and finish, you feel read them. But anyways, so that's just what I used to think in my mind, and it has really affected my choice in applications. Like, maybe if I'm applying to school and they ask me for IELTS, I'll look at the country. Wait, you people barely speak English. You're telling me to write IELTS. Like, the country in Mojo. I don't know, even that may have pride. I don't know. If English speaking countries say tell me to write IELTS, or I come let the low language country, show you the wine mean. I beg. As I say, my people. So there are some schools they can tell you to write IELTS to show that you can speak English, even if their country is known to have like 3 different language or 4 different language. So depending, and sometimes you might negotiate. And that's what I'm telling you is depending. There are some schools that they will even waive the IELTS or TOEFL requirements for you, but then it will be compulsory for the visa. So if the school waive it for you, does not mean that the visa, you can skip it. For example, in UK now, if you're applying for any admission, the school can actually waive it for you, and even during visa application process is not compulsory. For Ireland, the school can waive it for you, but for your visa application, it's very compulsory. For Australia, the school might waive it for you, but for your visa application process, your English proficiency is important. So do you see the variability? And there are some courses, for example, let's say you want to study like medicine in the UK, the school will not waive it for you. You have to do the they can waive it or they might not waive it. But if you get to the embassy will make it compulsory that you need IELTS for that course that you are doing. So we have some courses that they will waive it for you, both school and the visa, and we have some courses that they will not. And so let's say, for example, in Belgium, you are going to study medicine. You and I know that to study medicine in a country like Belgium, of course, you have to have at least one BC one in German language or French, depending on the path that you're going. So even if you want the school that I will learn when I'm coming, the embassy will be like, how are you gonna come? So the embassy will ask you. So sometimes you just have to certify both. So and that's it for admission requirement is depending on the school, they might ask you to pay application or admission fee for 50 euros, 20 euros, or anything or thereabout, and it's always not refundable. And for proof of fund, depending, there are some schools that they'll just do the admission process and everything. Apply for your proof of fund, they'll not ask you proof of fund. And there are some schools that they will ask you for proof of fund. For proof of fund, you have 2 ways. The ones that they use block account and the ones that use sponsorship. For the block account, you need to send to Germany from around 13,000 to 15,000 euros. They'll put the money there, then they will not send a certificate. And if you are sending this money, make sure you send it through school. And any website you are visiting, make sure that is the official website of your school, right? Don't go and look for another clone email. Color send the OC this. Of course, when you want to send, let's say the name of the school is Panchim, University of Belgium, right? From there you know the name that you're sending money to. Don't go and send money to any individual, Mr. Shambon, anything. If not, it's low. So when you send the money to your school will open the block account. They'll do everything for you. You send the certificate. That's what you add to your other document to apply for visa. But let's say maybe you don't have the 13,000 to 15,000 euros. You have to look for somebody that is actually in Belgium that earns up to 3,000 euros per month plus 800 euros for you. That's like we're looking at maybe 3,000, almost 4,000. That is almost 4,000 euros in a month for them to be able to cater for you. So that's the person that will actually submit their pay slip, their tax, their bank statement, their sponsorship letter, and all of that they are in support of you. So that's the 2 main ways I feel like you can get your proof of fund for Belgium as for now. If you know any other way, leave it in the comment section. Other document that you need is your admission letter to apply for visa. I'm sure that, and there are some schools that another thing you need is your police character certificate, non-criminal. I've made previous videos regarding that. Check my playlist, Japa tips or Japa documents. But there's actually an update regarding that police character certificate, especially as a Nigerian. In my subsequent videos, I'll talk about that. Why I'm shooting this video at night. You understand? So I'm showing you. So another thing that you need is your medical certificate, and this medical certificate you might have to get it from accredited government hospitals. Depending, your school might ask you during your admission process, or they might not. So if they don't, before you get it, make sure you ask at the embassy which hospital they use. So depending, if your embassy is in anywhere your embassy is, go there and ask what's the recognized hospital that I use. Some will just say just government hospital. Some will say no, it has to be from this specific hospital. Some will just say this. But me, I know say they collect private. They just prefer government hospital. And then visa fee, we budget like 0 to 200 euros. And another thing that you need to do at the admission process, depending, your school might be nice to give you a conditional offer or not. You need to do your legalization and authentication. You know how to do that, right? I've made several videos regarding that. If you've not seen, check my playlist. You see Japa tips. You carry your, whether your WAEC, your BSc, your transit and everything, you carry it to Ministry of Education in Abuja. Then from there, after they've authenticated and legalized, you go to Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Then after they do authentication and everything, then you now do it to send it to Belgium embassy for them to authenticate and legalize before you start your admission process. Or your school can actually give you a conditional offer that, okay, this is your admission, no, do it. Me, I always prefer that, for them to give me the conditional admission letter. Not like after I've gone through the stress of legalizing and authenticating, oh yeah, give me admission. That's why you say, because I have been this way, you can't give me admission. Oh, my parents just pay for me. I'm just saying. But you know that stuff like that is annoying. Me, I don't like wasting money before I see assurance. I like to see assurance. So you might actually talk to your school, then make it conditional first before you go through that stress of. So these are the main documents that I feel like you need for your study application to study in Belgium. Any other document aside this might just be like a requirement that is personalized to your own situation. And if you feel like there's any document that I missed out or I did not mention, make sure to leave it in the comment section. I cannot wait to do it for me. So guys, that brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next talk. Bye for now.